So Brett, we talked last time about some of the foundations that have really been very impactful in your life. Do you care to talk a little bit about the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the Ronald McDonald House?
Absolutely.
And just kind of tell us what they've provided you guys with.
Absolutely. With the Ronald McDonald House, they've provided us with lodging, as they do for other families with children with various medical-related problems. And they're located literally worldwide, but they're located certainly strategically around major hospitals within the United States. So the two hospitals that we go to in Pennsylvania, there's a Ronald McDonald House almost in between the two hospitals. So when we travel there for our son's medical needs, we get lodged there, and McDonald's itself contributes and funds a lot of it, but it's also run a lot through donations. And the thing is that they don't charge the families for staying there, and
Wow.
you have a common bond with the other families as soon as you walk through the door, because you're only there because there's something wrong with your kid, and that's the immediate
that
bond.
bond
You
right
walk
away,
through the
yeah.
door, you don't maybe know what the problem is, but you're all there because there's a problem.
And you told me last time that sometimes like pro athletes will come by the Ronald McDonald House and just literally just spend time with the families, which I think is really cool.
It's awesome. What we saw, the times that we were there, this was the location
player,
in
right?
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Some of the players from the Philadelphia Flyers showed
Wow.
up, and the basketball team, the 76ers, and the baseball, the Phillies,
Okay.
showed up at various times over different travels there. And other times, other players will show up. And then they also have volunteer groups from all organizations. The last time we were there, they had a group of about 10 teachers in the local school district that all volunteered and showed up one evening and made all the families, including our family, there were about 6 families there that particular evening. And a group of volunteers showed up and set up for dinner, made everybody a barbecue, ate their food, which was fantastic. And despite you trying and wanting to help them and clean up and do dishes,
They won't
let you do anything. And they basically send you back to the dining room, and then they bring dessert for everybody. And one of the kids there, it was her birthday. So we, as a extension family, if you will, celebrated this little girl's birthday, who
cool.
we had just met, a couple hours prior when we arrived. So it's that kind of bond. So Ronald McDonald House, amazing thing for people's that have these kind of issues and when their families are in need. And the other foundation is the Make-A-Wish Foundation,
yeah.
which is also worldwide. And I've always been on the other side of Make-A-Wish. I've donated over the years and helped from fund drive standpoints, but this is the first time I've been on the receiving side.
Right, what's happening in a couple of days here?
Yeah, my son was granted a wish by Make-A-Wish, and as a matter of fact, this upcoming weekend, his grant will be given to him. And
Awesome.
It's just a remarkable thing, and they don't let the families do anything. So both causes are incredibly worthwhile and are just selfless organizations.
Yeah. And just real briefly, what was Trevor's wish? Even though he wasn't able to really kind of ask and articulate what exactly he would want, you kind of filled in, you ad-libbed what you thought his Make-A-Wish would kind of be. So what's Trevor getting
we did,
in a
and then
couple days?
ultimately we guessed correctly.
Yeah,
He's a big Batman fan.
Yes, which we talked about last time.
Exactly. And he's very young still. The older children, when they grant a wish,
exactly.
it's easier to express it. The young kids, the first time we asked him what his special wish, if he could have one, what would it be? He asked for a bowl of cereal.
So Make-A-Wish is coming in Saturday, you said, and what's the day going to look like? Even though, to some extent, you're not totally sure what's going to happen.
Exactly. To my knowledge, he wished for a Batman bed.
Awesome.
That was his wish. So what will ultimately happen is he'll have a bedroom makeover around the Batman theme. And
Batcave almost.
Something.
Yeah.
We'll see. But basically what will happen is he'll be out of the house for the day. Make-A-Wish will come over and do their magic. and then later in the day he will return, and it's called a reveal. The room will be revealed to him and to
And that'll be
wife
caught
and
on
stuff.
film,
And
most likely, yeah.
they typically video things like that or take some pictures. We can do it ourselves too, so we'll definitely capture it in some capacity. It will definitely be done. But that's, in essence, that's what happens. And they reveal it, and you just kind of celebrate the child and all of these kids that do Make-A-Wish, regardless of what their wishes are. The general concept is the same. It's somewhat of a surprise to the child, or a partial surprise.
Well, yeah,
It
Trevor's
depends.
kind of young, so I mean, this is definitely gonna be heavy on the surprise side for him. He doesn't.
He's the youngest that Make-A-Wish will grant for if they meet medical qualifications.
Oh, really? He's on the youngest side?
He's the youngest. The cutoff for the age is him.
Okay.
From there, of course, it goes up. And the older kids, again, it's a little bit easier to express, and they may know part of their wish just because they're expressing it easier, but they don't know everything. They always work surprises in, regardless of the child's age. And that's the incredible part. They work around these kids and what these kids have to go through, and it just gives them a chance to experience some joy and not be in a hospital or receive treatment or anything having to deal with their medical issue or issues, and just a little bit more lighthearted as compared to the normal routine. So that's what will be happening for him.
Plus, I think, the fact that it's going to be his room, it's almost like the wish that keeps on being granted, because he'll have it every day.
Exactly. And they love they meaning Make-A-Wish, love the idea, and for one of the reasons you just said. It will be there. It will be there for a period of time.
Trevor's Batman. So
he's Batman.
He's going to bed at night. He's going to the cave.
Absolutely.
Wakes up in the morning. He's leaving the cave.
And you need to be a superhero like these kids to fight whatever it is they're fighting.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
couldn't have said it any better. For
all
sure.
means, all of these kids are superheroes. They're all in it.
That's why
it's remarkable.
That's why the athletes will visit, I think, at Ronald McDonald, because they need that breath of life. Also, they need that motivation too.
That's it, and that's what one of the guys said.
And they get it tenfold. Yeah,
one of the guys, when we were there,
say?
Was speaking to some of the kids and some of the parents, and one of the points he was making was like, we come out and play almost every day, hockey, during the season, and etc.
It's rough,
and,
I'm sure.
Tonight we can have a great game, either individually or just collectively as a team, and then tomorrow night might not be so good individually or collectively. And then you have an opportunity to come back and fight, but he says sometimes it's tough. You have to find from within. So he said, I look at all these kids in various age, and you just said it, perspective. These kids are fighting for their life, for their quality of life, for chances to overcome physical obstacles that they've been presented with. And the athletes just typically get blown away by this. And every experience that I've had from just observing, that's been the underlying theme every time. And it's remarkable. And the same goes true just for everybody. You sit there and it's like, oh, gee, I had such a bad day. But then when you put your bad day in perspective, and you look at these kids.
Oh man, the ref.
It's like
ref really.
Exactly.
He didn't give me that call or whatever.
Exactly.
Just the little things, and then you get to experience something like that. And it's like that stuff doesn't even come close to mattering. It doesn't even register.
And very much a reality check. And then it's like, wow, how dare I?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, it's just very, very changing of the mindset. And that's what I've noticed with the athletes when they show up, and just the parents in general, and just really anyone who comes in encounter with these kids, which is what Make-A-Wish and Ronald McDonald House, they sort of embrace that. And that's what they push, and it's an amazing thing. So two amazing organizations surrounded by amazing people, and most of all, amazing kids.
Yeah. So that would be the quick shout for today's episode.
Yes, sir.
As we say.
Absolutely.
How about, to end things real quickly here, your favorite Batman variation over the years? Could be the one you grew up with, first exposed.
It's the one I grew up with.
Okay.
Right? I grew up in the 70s and the 60s TV show, Adam West version Batman. That's the one that I grew up with.
Kick, pow, bam. That's
absolutely
awesome.
So that's the one I ultimately exposed my son to initially, and it just stuck.
Great.
It just stuck.
That's great.
So for me, that's what it was for me, and it seems to be that way for him, at least this far.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right, Brett. So last time we talked about something that you could possibly do as a parent, in other words, a preventative measure to catch some of the early signs of
Retno-blastoma.
Retno-blastoma.
Absolutely.
So what exactly is that? What do you need? What exactly, how would you do that? How would you go about it?
Very easy to do with things that people have very readily these days. When you're in a picture, someone takes a picture of you, or you've taken a picture of someone, sometimes you get the picture, whether it be digital version or old style print, etc. When you have that red eye and people didn't like the red eye because they wanted to get it out, well, in this case, for early detection of retinoblastoma, the red eye becomes your best friend.
Okay.
And retinoblastoma is eye cancer and typically affects kids. And what they're going to get, they typically get by age 1. Not every case may be that way, but statistically, typically around them. And it's a rare form of cancer, and potentially life-threatening. So with that said, what you do is take a camera, take a phone that has a flash, and take a close-up picture of your child's face with his or her eyes open.
How far? Does it matter?
A foot away or more, but
Gotcha.
within a few feet, with the flash on. And you want to take it of your child's face with his or her eyes open. And you're going to take a flash picture. Look at the picture. If you see the red reflex in both eyes, that's good.
Okay.
You want that. However, if you see no red reflex, or particularly if you see a white appearance and not the red appearance, you should take your child immediately to an ophthalmologist to have his or her eyes examined by a medical professional, because often that can be an early detection for early stage retinoblastoma, which is typically staged A through E, and stage E is life-threatening and it can kill. So if you can catch it early, there are treatment modalities out there that can potentially save the child's life, save the child's vision, and save the child's eye. And that's something that you want to get out there and make public awareness of, because something as simple as a flash photo
Something you could do and
can potentially save a child's life and his vision, her vision, and it's the way to go.
Now, do you have to make sure that their eyelids are open, or does it?
Nothing special.
Okay.
Just like right now, if you're taking a picture of me and I'm standing here, I'm looking at you, you take it straight on photo.
Because obviously an infant's not going to really be, looking right at the camera. It could just be, they don't have to be looking right at.
Ideally looking right at, but if you can capture as close to you can realistically based on the child's age,
you want
take a few pictures if you need them, especially with the convenience of these phones with the cameras and the flash right there. Absolute best thing you could do as a parent, guardian, babysitter, whatever, on a young child, and pay attention to that. And if you don't see that red reflex, bring the child to a pediatric ophthalmologist and get an examination. It literally could save them.
Okay. To close, we'll go with Trevor's calling card. Thumbs up.
Absolutely. And listen, Coach, I appreciate your time.
Of course.
And for allowing us to come in and speak with you about this. And I appreciate all your viewers watching and listening. And thank you all for your time.
They will all appreciate it just the same.
Thank you. And I wish you all a happy New Year. All the best to you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.